And welcome back to another Paul's Aquariums unboxing video. I'm Paul, this is Paul's Aquariums, aquarium shop in Brisbane, Australia for the last 25, 26 years. We have some awesome boxes of fish to unbox in this video. A lot of fish I ordered didn't turn up, so I have no idea what is in these boxes, but we're gonna find out together because that's half the fun, isn't it? First bag, oh, we did get these. These are black ghost knife fish. Okay, these are weird. I don't know why they call them a knife. They're more feather shaped than knives, but they're probably as much a feather as they are a knife, I guess. But black ghost knife fish are a South American tropical fish. They're gonna get pretty decent. They're gonna get like 30, 40 centimeters. When they get bigger, they are going to inhale little fish like neon tetra, guppy sort of size, things like that. But when they're small, they're generally okay with lots of smaller little tropical fish. So you want your pH between say 6 and 7. They'll go all the way down to 6, no problem. And you want your temperature roughly about 22 to 26, 27 degrees Celsius. So around that sort of range, they're gonna be quite happy. Again, they go by electricity in the water, so they've got tiny, tiny little eyes, which means that they can't really see that well. So if you've got a clear pipe or like clear piece of PVC in the bottom of the tank, they're gonna park themselves in that and they're gonna think they're hiding, but you actually get to see them. So they're kind of a really cool fish if you have a whole lot of these, a whole lot of clear pipe, and you just see them hovering around when they think they're hiding. I know, they are weird, but super cool. So you want to keep them slightly bigger stuff, so peaceful barbs, bigger tetras, things like angelfish, that sort of stuff, they're going to be perfectly fine. And you will want like at least a 4-foot tank for one, because as I said, they're going to get big. And when they sort of dart around the tank and look kind of cool, you want enough space for them. But black ghost knife fish, that is the first fish in these boxes. Yay, tiny, tiny eyes. Talking about guppies, we have guppies. So it looks like male guppies. There's some really cool black ones in there. So these are Central American. Guppies are live bearing fish, which means they give birth to live babies. These are all boys, so they're not going to give birth to live babies. So if you want colourful fish that are not going to mass produce, just get male guppies, don't get female guppies. Nice, peaceful, awesome little things. They're going to survive anything from like 18 degrees Celsius up to about 28 degrees, and pH anything from 7 to like 7.5 or so. So they like the water slightly more alkaline than acidic, but if you have them in a neutral pH, they're generally okay with quite a few other little community fish. But we have lots of nice male guppies back in. Some female betta fish. What are these? These are double tail females. So there should be a fair few bags of the double tail females. So perfect time if you want some really cool female betta fish. Now, betta fish, which is Siamese fighting fish, you can keep a whole lot of females together in a decent sized tank. So with them, you want either 1 or you want like 3 or more, ideally like sort of 4 or 5. If you have a group of them, the dominant one is not going to harass just one and attack it. They're sort of just going to even out all the aggression. So you can have a really nice colourful tank of female betta fish with things like tetras and little peaceful fish like that, cherry barbs, corydoras catfish, so on and so on. You do want like 40 litres to 60 litres minimum. The bigger the tank, the better it's going to be to have the females with other fish, so they can't corner the fish or anything like that. But if you have a nice group of them together, they look absolutely awesome. And I'm pretty sure we've got some different female bettas in here as well. So that is one lot, which are the double tails, called a double tail because they have 2 tails. In ideal conditions, female betta fish are going to live up to 10 years, so you can get a decent lifespan out of them as well. Another black ghost knife fish. There's probably a fair few black ghost knife fish in here. That is not a black ghost knife fish. What are you? Oh, okay, so a Tropheus. That is a Tanganyikan fish. Yay! That looks like a red Tropheus of some description. I'll put the scientific name on the screen for you. Tropheus are a vegetarian sort of algae grazing Tanganyikan fish, and Lake Tanganyikan is a rift lake in Africa, and it has a silly, silly high pH. So you want your pH anything from 8 to 9.5. Yeah, you don't mix these with black ghost knife fish and all the tetras and stuff like that. They have a really, really alkaline pH. But these will totally change as they get bigger. They'll go sort of a browny red color with light and dark on them. And they max out around that sort of 8 to 10 centimeters on average. Some get a little bit bigger than others, but roughly you say about 10 centimeters, that's an adult sized Tropheus schooling. So you want a group of them. If you've only got like 1 or 2, you'll get a dominant one harass the other one. So you really want a group of them together. But if you've got a Tanganyikan tank, even a high pH Malawi tank, you can get away with a group of these. Very, very awesome, underrated little fish. Obviously, they have a very long digestive tract, so because they eat all the veggie material like the algae and stuff in the lakes, they just spend the whole day grazing on the rocks, So you want sort of low protein food for them. So it's decent spirulina wafers and spirulina flake, etc, etc. There should be a whole heap of those in this box somewhere. Awesome Tropheus. Oh look, just the fish that I've spawned again. And of course, every time I breed fish in my fish room, the wholesalers have them super cheap. So thank you wholesalers for having so many cheap hoplo catfish. These are spotted hoplo catfish, so not your normal hoplo sternum. They have a different scientific name, which just means they don't get as big as a normal hoplo catfish, but they're prettier. They have pretty spots. Sort of like the albino ones I think we had last month. They're all sold out, but we do have a fair few of these. There's a couple of bags of these, and these are huge. These are actually a decent size hoplo catfish. And they're only like $35 each, which sounds expensive to the whole world, except for Australia, where we have to breed them, which we have just bred them again, so twice in the last few months, but they have come down a lot cheaper than when they were available at the start of the year. I think they were like 59 bucks at the start of the year. Now they're like almost half the price. So, well, they are half the price technically, 35, close enough. 235s is not 59, cut. So I probably should have said that the hoplo catfish are a tropical fish from South America, and you want pH anything from 6.5 to 7.2 or so. They'll tolerate up to 7.5, but not too alkaline, and temperature 22 to 28 degrees, they will be perfectly fine. They're bubble nest builders. If you want to see a few cool videos on breeding them, just check out my other videos on the channel, because we've bred a few of them lately. And we've got some little tiny stunted balloon ones, so like they're just round. They're very, very cool. You should check out how stupid they look. Because, you know, if you stunt a fish, well, it's not stunted, they were just born that way. If it's genetic, we'll know about it in about a year when I breed them together. Then we've got little round ball whiskery fish. What else could you want except for ball whiskery fish? Anyway, we have more betta fish. Okay, these are what? Oh, that's nice. Halfmoon bettas. So there should be a couple of bags of these. Unlike the double tails, they don't have a double tail. They're called half moons because they have more of a round half moon tail. Really nice colors. So as I said, with the other betta fish, group of them together, they will be perfectly fine. Oh, there's a pretty white one. There's all sorts of nice colors, as you can see on the screen. So have a group of them together with anything other than things like guppies with big, long flowing fins, because they're going to nip at the tails thinking that they're male betta fish. Don't put male betta fish with the female betta fish unless you're about to breed them. So try and keep all the girls together. They're fine, as I said, with tetras and all that sort of stuff, but lots of really cool female betta fish back in. More cool fish. Okay, maybe I'll change the name of this video to unboxing really cool catfish, because these are more really cool catfish. These are your ghost glass catfish or X-ray catfish. They're invisible. I know, I say that every time, but look at them, they're invisible. They're like predator type things. It doesn't work when I've only do that with one finger. Predator type things. Yeah, they look like a invisible catfish. Well, these come from Thailand. They are pretty awesome little fish. So again, a tropical fish. So same sort of conditions as your South American fish. You want to keep them pH between 6 and 7, and anything from 22 to 28 degrees Celsius, they will do fine. They are a schooling fish and super, super peaceful. So they're not really going to try and eat any other fish. You have to make sure that barbs or anything too nippy is not going to harass the tails of them, and they're just going to sit there, hover, look pretty, look kind of X-ray and invisible, but they are super, super cool little catfish. So try and get like 5 or 6 of them in a group, and they'll do a lot better than just 2 or 3 sort of thing. But we have ghost glass catfish. They are so awesome, aren't they? They are pretty cool catties. Oh, something we haven't had for a little while, chocolate gouramis. These are pretty awesome as well. So they're a very small gourami. Again, a little Asian fish. They're gonna max out about that 4.5, 5 centimeters. Lovely different shades of brown. Super peaceful. These will go really, really acidic too. So these will go down to like a pH of, I think, 3.5, 4.5, so really, really acidic, all the way up to about 7. So you want to keep them ideally 6, 6.5, normal sort of conditions, but the more acidic they go, the happier and perkier they're going to be. They're also a very warm water fish, so you want to keep them 26 to 30 degrees Celsius, and they will do really, really well. A lot of tannic acid, a lot of leaf litter, stuff like that. They are a little mouth brooder too, which is kind of weird because, yeah, they just hold the eggs in their mouth. But a very cool fish if you want something a little bit more specialized to breed. We have chocolate gouramis back in. More gouramis. Okay, gouramis are Asian fish. These are sparkling gouramis. These are even smaller than the chocolate gouramis, called sparkling gouramis because they have really cool little sort of, what would you even call it? I was going to say navy blue, but it's not. It's more teal or aqua blue. Little speckles through them, very pretty little fish, and they only max out about that 3.5 centimeters or so. So big buffy males, 3.5 centimeters, females 2 to 2.5 centimeters, but a really nice, peaceful, nano little fish if you want something smaller, cheaper, prettier. Anything pH wise from 6 to 7 and temperature rise from like 22 all the way up to like 28, 30 degrees. Gouramis like it warm. They've got a labyrinth organ, which means that they breathe through the surface. So they will survive where there's a lot of organic matter, which makes the water go acidic, and they'll breathe through the surface because of lack of oxygen. So very, very hardy little fish if you keep them in the right conditions. We have a bag of platies. Okay, more Central American fish, sort of like the guppies, but not a guppy. So platies are a very hardy fish. They're going to survive anything from a pH of say 7 all the way up to like about 7.6 or so. Slightly alkaline, so they don't like the water too acidic. Males and females will produce like people. They're live bearers, so why would I even say males and females will produce like people? That makes no sense. They will have live babies. There you go. But the boys won't. The girls will. They can have easily like live, oh my goodness. They can easily have a batch of live babies every sort of 6 to 8 weeks, and they can up to like 60 or 70 babies on average. So yeah, very, very cool little fish, multiple different colors. They're going to live for about 2 to 3 years as well. But a nice little fish if you want something with lots of live babies. If you keep a whole lot of males together, they're probably going to harass each other, so it's better to probably keep lots of girls together than just males if you're going to go for one sex over the other, or just have a nice mixture but expect to have little babies pop up in your tank. Very, very cool. Looks like there is a big mixture of colors in there. Might be a couple of bags of those as well. I think there's Mickey Mouse ones which have got the Mickey Mouse ear pattern on the tail. Always an awesome little peaceful fish. I was going to say we have some cories, but they're not cories. They're brooches cats or brooches emerald catfish. Look like a corydoras, a slightly different species. Very nice metallic green. They act like a corydoras, which is a South American catfish. These again are South American. They're going to get a decent size, about 8 centimeters or so. The babies of these are the most stunning little tiny baby fish you've ever seen. They have a big dorsal fin on them and that. If you look way back, like probably a year or two into my fish breeding videos, if you're that bored, you'll see baby ones of these and they look absolutely amazing. I think there's one on the thumbnail. You'll figure it out. If not, you get to see these anyway. They are emerald green, peaceful, schooling fish, pH 6.5 to 7, temperature 20 to like 28 degrees Celsius, and they get a decent size, like 8 centimeters. Peaceful, they're not going to harass anything. If there's a dead or dying fish, any other fish is going to harass them. But if you have other peaceful fish in your tank, these are going to fit in perfectly well. And they spend all their time rummaging around the bottom of the tank, just eating detritus and worms and bits of food and all sorts of stuff like that. But a very nice, cool little catfish if you want something perky and cool. They're perky and cool. More hoplo catfish. And we have some Glowlight tetras. So Glowlight tetras are another peaceful tetra from South America. They have a lovely orange stripe to them, sort of on a brownie body, I suppose, but the orange stripe absolutely glows, fluorescent orange, if you've got them in sort of a natural tank sort of setup. So normal plants, dark substrate, they will absolutely glow. Super, super cool little tetra if you want something a little bit different than a neon tetra, and that Glowlight tetras are super peaceful. Again, pH 6.5 to 7 and temperature 20 to like 26 degrees. Stable water quality. These will go super, super well with all other types of South American peaceful tetras and little catfish and stuff like that, like the brooches emerald cats. They'll go really well with them. They'll even go well with like the ghost glass knife. No, ghost glass. They'll even go well with the ghost glass catfish and stuff like that as well. So a nice little peaceful tetra. And talking about tetras, we have neon tetras. We always have neon tetras. Well, we mostly always have neon tetras. Fish, red, blue, white belly. Have them in just about every unboxing video because they are cheap and they are lovely. You can buy 10 of these for $20 Australian. And they're a nice peaceful schooling. These are South American, like the bulk of the tetras in these boxes at the moment. They will survive anything from 20 degrees up to like 26 degrees. They don't like the water too warm compared to things like cardinal tetras and that. And they like the pH 6.5 to 7. So slightly acidic. They'll go really, really well. And in captivity, they can live up to 10 years, which is quite a while for little tetras like these. But neon tetras back in. Ooh, 2 fish for me. Okay, we have 2 gold compressor seps. because the compressor seps I got last time were all girls. I know, so hopefully there's some boys, but looking at them, they're very small and can't easily tell. Boo. I know. Just another fish I want to breed. These are Tanganicans, don't have any available. I'm sorry. I can get them in, but they're silly, silly prices. I mean, these would have to retail for like $50, $60, and that's kind of expensive for what they are. But I want a boy one because I've only got girls and the girls are ready to lay eggs and I don't want them to breed with the calvus. Cut. Okay, we have 2 bags of Discus, more Discus back in stock. These are South American, a little bit more specialized to look after. So anything pH wise from 6 to 6.5, 6.8. You want your temperature 26 to 30 degrees Celsius. They have a very small digestive tract, so they want a lot of high protein food. So lots of defrosted foods, brine shrimp, mysis shrimp, bloodworms, beef heart, that sort of stuff. Very meaty food, and because they live in such warm water, the food passes through them super, super quick. That's why they eat a lot and need high protein food. But we have, I think, a couple of bags of Discus. Very cool little fish. They won't stay small though, they get decent size. So they're gonna get easily like about 15 centimeters, maybe 18 centimeters diameter, which is a pretty big fish, like big. They will live for a long time, but very awesome if you want something a little bit different. When they're small, they don't have much color, but as they mature, they get really, really pretty sort of patterns and colors to them. Lots of Discus back in. More South American tetras. These are shining tetras. These are pretty little fish. Okay, we haven't had these for a while, so if you do want some, be quick, because I think we've only got about 20 or so in there. They're lovely fish. I do want to breed these one day. They're just a pretty little different type of tetra. There are hundreds of different tetras. These are South American, pH 6.5 to 7 again, temperature 22 to 26 on average, and they will go well. Schooling fish, so you want a group of them. So yeah, get anything from like sort of 5 or 6 or more, and they will go really, really well. But we have shining tetras back in, super small, super cool, very nice. Going to max out about 4.5, 5 centimeters at the max. Very cool little fish. Rainbow sharks. Ironically, I'm trying to breed my pair at home, which are kind of doing the spawning thing, but nothing has really happened yet. Very impossible to breed in captivity, but these are spawned on Asian fish farms overseas, so they just hormone inject them. Don't even get into that. But these are like a peaceful catfish that just happens to be the size and shape. And it's not the size of a shark, it's the shape of a shark. It's the size of a baby shark. These will max out about 15, 16 centimeters on average, maybe tiny little bit bigger, but you want 1 per tank because when they do mature and get a little bit bigger than what you see here, which is about 6 centimeters or so, they start to fight over territory. So even if you have 2 of them in like a big 4 or 6 foot tank, they're gonna harass each other eventually. So far the pair I've got that ideally will spawn, I'm doing that with my fingers again, it's like, what's Easter? That's a rabbit, isn't it? Cut. Hopefully they will spawn at home, but if you want one for your tank, get one of these. They are peaceful algae eaters, even though they're the shape of a shark. So yeah, tropical, so anything pH 6 to 7 and temperature 22 to 26 degrees on average, and they will go well. Lovely Southeast Asian fish, 1 per tank. More fish. Okay, so these are barbs. These are Odessa barbs. When they're small, they look kind of silver and not terribly exciting. When they get bigger, they have a really nice sort of bright red and sort of grey to them. And the grey makes the bright red stand out more. Yeah, these are a little bit too small to colour up, but Odessa barbs are one of the nicest barbs ever. They're going to max out about that sort of 6 to 7 centimetres. A little bit rough and tumbles. They don't keep them things like guppies, but you can keep them with bigger tetras and all that sort of type of fish. Again, anything pH wise from like 6.5 to about 7.2, 7.5, they'll be fine. And temperature wise, anything from 20 to 26 degrees Celsius, and they will be fine. Schooling fish, so get 5 or 6 again or more, and they will go well. But yay, Odessa barbs, haven't had them for a little while. More barbs. Okay, these are tiger barbs, called tiger barb because they're a barb and they have that tigery stripe to them. They are pretty nippy, so don't mix them with guppies, delicate fish, anything like that, because even if you have a group of these, like 4 or 5 of them, they will pick off little delicate fish. If you've got things like guppies with a big flowing tail, they're going to just keep nipping and nipping until the guppy doesn't have a tail. It's not the barb's fault, so if you do have a few barbs and they're terrorizing all your fish, rehome them to someone else or get more barbs and get rid of all the delicate flowing tail fish in your tank, if that makes any sense. But you want a school of them, you want at least sort of 6, if not more. The more of these you have, the more they sort of stick to themselves and don't harass other fish. But again, there's exceptions to the rules like guppies. Don't mix guppies with tiger barbs because it will never end well. Eventually they're just going to nip each other. These are slightly acidic water fish as well, so 6.5 to 7, and temperature wise, anything from 24 to 26, you'll be perfectly fine with these. But very, very cool. Oh, we did get some albino tiger barbs as well, or golden tiger barbs. I had to get them out of the bag super quick because the bag had deflated and panic, and yeah, we'd rather save the fish and make sure they're okay than talk about them in a deflated bag. So we have those as well, and they're just the albino version of your normal tiger barbs. Hey, that's why they're that colour and not normal colour cut. And we have some Malawi cichlids, have not had these for ages as well. These are living stony. So Malawi is a rift lake in Africa, so you want your pH between 7.8 and about 8.5 or so. So very, very alkaline water. Not as alkaline as the Tanganyikan fish, but it is up there, so you don't really want to mix them with all your community normal tetras and barbs and stuff like that. But living stony are a pretty awesome fish. So one of the habits of them in the lakes is they lie down, look like a dead fish, because they're motley coloured. Other little fish will come over and pick on them, and then they will eat the little fish. I know. These will get around 20, 25 centimetres. A very, very nice fish. Males will get a little bit of blue in them, but otherwise females will look exactly the same as the baby ones. Again, not really a schooling fish, but any Malawi cichlids, you want numbers in your tank. So you want at least 20 or so cichlids in your tank, otherwise dominant one's going to mature and harass all the other ones, and you'll end up with one fish if you don't have enough in your tank. So the numbers just break up the aggression, but Dr. Livingstone, I presume. More Malawi cichlids. Oh, they're a decent size too. So these are Labiachromis hongi. They are a nice fish. They go purple with the sulfur crest, and you can practically see the colours of them there. Okay, they are pretty. They're nice in the bag. So they look probably even nicer there, but they are again another Malawi cichlid, so everything that works for the Livingstone works for these. You want groups of them together. These are going to max out a little bit smaller than the Livingstone, so you're going to get about 15, 16 centimetres on average, where the Livingstone get a lot bigger again. You can keep them all together, but you want numbers and alkaline water. But we have more Malawi cichlids. Very, very pretty underrated fish. Yay! We've jumped to South America. We have some X-ray tetras or Pristilla tetras. I'm pretty sure last week we had the golden ones. These are just the normal ones, like the golden one, but not golden. South American, 6.5 to 7 pH and 22 to 26 degrees Celsius. They will go fine. Schooling fish, you want a group of them, called an X-ray tetra or Pristilla tetra because you can kind of see through them. Very pretty underrated fish, but a really nice tetra if you want something a little bit different for a normal community tank. Ooh, South American catfish, they're pretty awesome. Okay, these are long fin, what are they? We have long fin bristlenose, look at them. There's a mixture of calicos, there's some golden ones, normal ones in there. Okay, bristlenose catfish are a South American suckermouth catfish. They're one of the most common sort of algae-eating catfish you can get. Heaps of people mix them with all sorts of stuff. You don't really want to keep them in too cold a water, so don't mix them with goldfish. Don't mix them hard alkaline water like your Malawi cichlids. I know everyone's going, but I mix them all the time. They do better at a pH between 6.5 and 7, and temperature-wise 22 to 26 degrees. So if you keep them in that range, they'll be quite happy. They're going to get a decent size. These are the longfin version of your shortfin ones. That's why they're called longfin. And there's a few different colours there. The calicos are really, really pretty. Got the oranges and stuff in them. They're going to max out body-wise about 10, 12 centimetres, but then you've got a huge tail too. So when you work out a body that big and the tail the same size, these turn into monstrous looking fish. Very awesome, and the tail and the fins will develop longer with age. So the longer you have them, the more mature they'll get, and they'll get huge, big, long flowing fins that sort of look like a whole lot of feathers on them. So obviously don't mix them with any nippy barbs. Try not to mix them with things like tiger barbs because they're going to nip at the tails of them. Because when these things swim past, all you see is tail and fins, and very awesome underrated fish. But they will eat pretty much any algae in your tank. Do really well on brown diatom algae, just your normal green algae that grows on stuff. They're a vegetarian, but you want to feed them slightly higher protein pellets as well. A very nice little fish, but lots of longfin bristlenose back in. Yay! More catfish from South America. Okay, it's definitely a catfish unboxing video. Look at their weird little snouts. Okay, we had these. Oh, when did we have the last lot of these? I think it was a couple of months ago. So these are Falawella catfish. They are like a twig catfish. They're like an elongated version of the bristlenose you just saw. Again, South American, so you want the pH 6.5 to 7, temperature 22 to 26 degrees Celsius or so. These are algae eaters, super peaceful, very long, needly looking, very cool fish. They're going to max out around that 20 centimeter sort of size, which sounds big, but they're mostly just stick shaped. So they're not a huge, big, stocky fish. They're a twig with eyes and a little sucker mouth and fins and stuff. Very, very cool. Awesome little catfish. Algae eaters, as I said, so as long as they've got some sort of algae food in their diet, they'll be right. Keep them super peaceful, South American tetras and cory catfish in that, and you can't really go wrong. But yeah, twig catfish or Falawella catfish back in. Very awesome, awesome catfish from South America. We have some barbs. We're jumping all over the place. So these are cherry barbs. We have a lot of cherry barbs come and go all the time. Super peaceful. So unlike the tiger barbs, these don't nip anything. Called a cherry barb because they got a bright red cherry color. Once they settle down and mature, they max out about that 4.5, 5 centimeters. Bright red, super peaceful fish. Go really, really well with just about any other smaller peaceful fish. 6.5 to 7 pH, temperature 22 to 26 again, and you will be fine. So they're going to mix really, really well in community planted tanks with lots of South American fish and generally just peaceful, awesome stuff. And it looks like the last bag in these boxes, we have some lampi tetras. Weird little bag of lampi tetras, but lampi tetras are a lovely, again, South American tetra. So silver, they've got the red eye, the black band on the tail. They're going to max out about that 6 to 7 centimeters, so a little bit chunky and decent size, but an awesome school of these will just go back and forward in your tank. And even though they're silver, they look awesome. They can be a little bit nippy, so don't mix them with guppies and stuff, but they're okay with the bulk of the other tetras. They're going to get a decent size, so you can mix them with angelfish, geophagus, slightly bigger South American cichlids, and away you go. And that was all the fish in this Easter unboxing. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up so I know. If you've got any comments, comment down below. If you want to see more videos like this one, there is a playlist of a whole lot of unboxing videos somewhere on the screen around about now, and we will see you in those ones. Thanks heaps for watching. Bye!